All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, as always, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash, double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to you sincere, hopeful, elect Akim that push the word of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai in spirit and in truth. All right, Ma'at, Al-Rabayim, Al-Rabai, Alak. That is to say 144,000 in the Lashma Kodash. That is what we are striving to be a part of, taking part in this ministry. All right. So this lesson I want to get into is, I believe I'm going to title it, the treasure chest. Okay. And the reason behind me calling it the treasure chest, this faith we have, the labor of love, the work we do, it's all putting spiritual money into a bank account, into a treasure trust, if you will. Okay, you find a treasure chest, it doesn't necessarily have to be money in there. All right, like you see these movies with these kids, some movies growing up, some kid has some treasure chest, they find some treasure chest and it's all kind of toys in there, some gold coins, some cool toy, baseball cards, all kind of stuff that kids hold near and dear unto them. They find value in those things. Well, the times we're entering into, all right, pretty much our faith is going to be a form of currency. All right, and our faith is also gonna be pretty much like a barter system, so to say. Because of our faith, the Most High is gonna make sure brothers eat. All right, gonna make sure brothers are taken care of. All right, make sure that brothers got clothes on their back. All right, delivered out of crazy situations. Had in favor with the heathen. Because the scriptures say when a man's ways please the Heavenly Father, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. All right, so Jacob's trouble, being that we're in Jacob's trouble, and it's only going to get worse. The 2/3 of the nation of Israel that have failed to take heed to the warnings being issued out from on high through the words of the prophets, they're going to be in a pitiful case, as it says in 2nd Esdras. All right? Yet, the prophets of Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai, his servants, are going to be able to navigate around all that, not be caught up in what the 2/3 is going to be caught up in. Okay? So faith, all right, is part of that treasure chest. All right. Now, starting here in 1 Timothy 4, I'm gonna read verse 8 in the NLT as well as the KJV. I'll start in the KJV first, and it says, "For bodily exercise profiteth little, but godliness is profitable unto all things." Okay? Having promise of the life that now is, and of that which is to come. All right, now, with the bodily exercise profiting little, you got groups such as ISUPK that's doing combatives. All right, in order to be in ISUPK, or they got a program or something like that. I don't know the exact, but they're on camera doing push-ups and military type training and all that. You know, and the Lord ain't called us into the truth to become ninjas. All right, and that's twofold. He called us to be prophets, man, to be servants, to be men of the Lord. All right, so all that bodily exercising, what good is that going to do you if you don't have a foundation of faith? Okay, if you're not found in the treasure chest of the Most High. Now, verse 8 in the NLT, it says physical training is good, but training for godliness is much better. Okay, so physical training is good. There's nothing wrong with physical training. Now, that ain't something you should be putting all on camera. Okay, because training physically, going on a run or a walk, forest bathing. Apostle Kabar went into that some close to a year ago. Forest bathing and walking in the forest, or whatever type of exercise you do, hey, it's profitable. But that's not the focus. Okay. It says promising benefits in this life and in the life to come. Okay, but godliness is beneficial not only for this life, but being that you worked on exercising your godliness on this side, the benefits is gonna be lasting, because in the kingdom of heaven, if you're the elect, all right, you're gonna be the top tier, man. Okay, you're gonna be top tier in the kingdom of heaven as a member of the elect, being that you focus on godliness on this side, and this fucking forsaking God forsaking outside of the elect, the remnant. This earth is, man, these people don't care nothing about no type of nothing righteous, man. Okay, so hey, godliness is the focus, man. Now, my next precept, because working on that godliness establishes, a line of credit, so to say. All right, which it's not even credit; it's actual spiritual money. But in this world, you gotta establish a line of credit. It's gotta be good credited, to be able to utilize, so you can, a credit card. You want to get a credit card or things of that nature. You gotta have good credit. Well, the so-called credit that the men of the Lord deal with is actually spiritual money. All right. So Matthew 6:19, it says, "Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth." Okay, so we're not focused on tangible goods on this side, treasures on this side. All right, having cattle and a house, got all these cars, even gold and silver, man. You got people that hoard gold and silver, which there's nothing wrong with having some gold and silver, but that's not going to deliver you. So that shouldn't be your main focus. All right, as a servant of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, all right, you're supposed to lay up for yourself treasures in heaven. Okay? So it says, "Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. All right, a lot of these people in the entertainment industry, you know, whether they flaunt what they got or not, all right, their riches, their worldly possessions, a lot of times they'll like athletes, you know, have a go to a championship game or something, you know, or a boxing match, and then when they get back home, you know, the like Manny Pacquiao some years ago, his mansion in LA had got broken into, and they stole his shit. You know, who else? You had I think LL Cool J. They niggas in LA broke in and stole his shit. Okay, so that's a normal thing on this side. All right, and those is all corruptible treasures. All right. Verse 20, it says, "But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal." All right, so dealing with, you know, the spiritual riches, the spiritual treasures, spiritual wealth, there ain't nobody that can break in your spiritual bank account and drain you. You know, steal what's yours. All right, that can't happen. Okay, because that's guarded by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, man. Okay. Verse 21, it says, "For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also." So our treasure being in heaven, hey, that's where our mind is focused at. All right, godliness. Our mind is focused on godliness, not focused on, you know, the weak nature. All right, the cares of this life. You're supposed to cast off these thoughts that's most heavy onto us. Hey, whatever. That's part of the flesh, but you don't let that rule you. Okay, you navigate around it, or be the juggernaut, bust through that mud, man. Okay, but focus on godliness, focus on the kingdom. All right, focus on what's to come. All right, the righteousness to come. You know, the world that we're gonna inherit. All right, and lastly, this is Isaiah 33. Verse 6, and it reads, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times." Okay, so wisdom and knowledge is going to be what's going to keep us stable in these times that we're in. All right, not the wisdom and knowledge of you know, football stats, okay, or who's gonna win the World Cup, all right, or you know, just meaningless BS, worthless knowledge. All right, these people in this world are consumed with, you know, worthless knowledge, a wealth of worthless knowledge. You know. That's not gonna keep you stable in these times. All right, what's gonna keep you stable in these times is knowing Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. All right, knowing what the will of the Heavenly Father is, having foresight to foresee evil. You know, knowing how to maneuver through the Spirit. That's what's gonna keep you stable. Okay, knowledge of the scriptures. That's gonna keep you stable in these times that we're in, man. You know, you go to work, you go to the plantation, you see these people, they look all perplexed, man. because they don't know what the hell's going on. All right, they watch the news, if they even watch the news. A lot of these people don't watch the news. You know, I work around a lot of heathen, and majority of them is fresh off the boat. All right, illegal as hell. All right, and you can tell they don't know what the hell's going on, man. They just there to collect a paycheck, but don't know how the events that's currently taking place in the earth, especially here in America, is going to affect them. Okay, so they're unstable. All right, but we as men of the Lord have the ingredients and the knowledge to keep us stable. All right. So once again, it says, "And wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord Yahweh is his treasure." All right. So fearing Yahweh is that's the treasure, man. So verse 6 in the NLT it says, "In that day he will be your foundation, your sure foundation, providing a rich store of salvation, wisdom and knowledge. The fear of the Lord Yahweh will be your treasure." All right, so the fear of Yahweh is our treasure. Now, when you get that word treasure, all right, it comes from the Hebrew Awatazar. All right, and that's H214. I'm gonna jump down to the Strong's definitions. It says armory, okay, a depository. All right, something you deposit into. Okay, so our faith is, allows us to put that spiritual money into a depository. Okay, that Matthew 6, laying up your treasure in heaven, right? It says armory, cellar, all right, garner, storehouse, treasure house. So our faith puts spiritual money into a spiritual account that we are able to draw from in a time of need, being that we fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap it up with that, and hopefully that was edifying. The treasure chest, the spiritual treasure chest. All right, in the fear of the Lord, in godliness establishes that. All right. So once again, Lord willing, this was edifying. Until next time, Shalom.